Jim Carroll, Ralph Baber, psychology takeaway. You need a dose of the real. Life's absurd. We know the deal. Did you hear? Don't let it get you down. Turn that frown. Upside down, upside down, 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 upside.
Hi there. Welcome to 2026, Ralph.
Yes, indeed. It's a new year.
Hey, did you make any New Year's resolutions?
No, I've learned that if I make New Year's resolutions, I tend to fail at them, so I don't make them.
So you resolved not to.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of our listeners and viewers do make New Year's resolutions. It's the first week now of the new year, and I've talked to a number of our folks, and hey, they've already broken or failed at their resolutions.
Yeah, and part of the thing is that many people make resolutions that are too broad.
I'm going to be a better person.
Yeah. How are you going to be a better person? Well, I'm just going to be better. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just be better.
Yeah. I will smile and say hello to people that I meet on the street or my students.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's very behavioral and observable, right?
Right.
Okay.
So the thing is that for many people, when they make a resolution, they make it in such a way that it's either impossible to attain,
Being a better person.
being a better person, or
It's
you
too
say,
vague.
am I a better person today? Well, I smiled at somebody. Did you say anything to them? No. Did they say anything to you? No. They kind of looked at me funny.
Yeah. What's that thing that Baber has on his face? A
Yeah.
smile? Okay. Gotcha. But at least it's something that you could, focus on. Let's see, I'm going to cut down on my drinking. Well, what does that mean? I'll drink 1 beer a day. Okay. Well, if you've been drinking 16 beers a day, cutting down, drinking one is cutting down.
Yes.
And it's
Now, the thing is,
measurable.
if you're drinking 2 16-ounce beer a day,
No, I was going with 16-ounce cases of them.
yeah, what I was thinking is if you say, I'm going to cut down on my drinking, and instead of drinking 2 16-ounce beers a day, I'm going to switch to a 32-ounce can.
Or they used to have those Colt 45 half-gallon bottles.
Yeah.
I've talked to students who said they were just going to have one
Beer a
day.
Yeah. So the thing is, you have to say, okay, what do I mean by cutting down? Mm-hmm. Is if you're drinking arbitrarily, let's say 6, if you're drinking 6 regular beer a day,
Yeah.
cutting down to 3 is probably attainable.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting down to 0
Be a little harder.
be a little harder. Mm-hmm. So the thing that you have to say is what's realistic,
Yeah. Yeah.
and maybe you say, okay, in my house, my wife drinks 1 glass of wine a day.
Mm-hmm.
But every day we go through a bottle of wine. Who does the majority of the wine drinking? So you have to say to yourself, okay, what's realistic and how do I know?
Yep. Yep. And, for our friends who have attempted to do New Year's resolutions, we're going to give them a reset, Ralph. We're going to
Okay.
say, okay, it's now the 5th or 6th of January.
6th of January.
Yeah, let us delete the last 3 or 4 days and let us tell you the best way of approaching behavior change.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the smart way, right?
The smart way.
Okay.
Now, smart, you think, oh, yeah, well, I'm a smart person. I should be able to do smart resolutions. No, smart is not anything to do with your individual IQ. It is a acronym, And the acronym was developed by a guy.
SMART.
It was developed by a guy named Doran.
Okay.
And he said, the way that you do decision making is, whether it's New Year's resolutions or anything else,
Yeah.
you have to start SMART goals.
We'll talk about decision making in a little bit and talk about our book here.
Yeah.
Yeah. SMART goals. So
Okay.
what's S?
Specific.
Be specific. Not I'm going to be a better person, but I'm going to smile at my neighbor. I'm going to pat my dog on the head. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
You think that would
Yeah.
contribute to it.
And let's suppose that you're a young person and you're fairly robust, and you have a neighbor who is aged.
What will we know? Oh, okay. We know about the aged neighbor, don't we?
Right. So you could say, to be a better person, I'm going to go over to X's house and shovel her driveway.
Okay. Yeah.
That would make you a better person.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a specific goal.
Yeah.
Every time it falls snow, I'm going to clean out her driveway for her. So you say, okay,
Okay.
well,
So that's something very specific. Okay.
Then-
so be specific as possible. Well, what's the M?
the M is measurable.
Okay.
So how do you know that you have achieved a specific goal? Well, how do you measure it? Well, every time it snowed, I went over and shoveled my neighbor's driveway
And you could put a check mark on a
on
calendar,
the calendar
if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you say, okay, that's how I measure it. Every time it snowed, I shoveled.
Okay.
And then
A.
achievable or attainable.
Okay.
So you say to yourself, look, here's the problem for me. I'm not a very good downhill skier.
Okay. What does this have to do with shoveling snow?
Well, it doesn't, but it has to do with an attainable goal.
Okay.
So you say, I am going to, by the end of this snow season, I'm going to be a great skier.
Okay. Not attainable, probably.
Not attainable. You can end up saying, I'm going to be better.
Okay. I'm going to make it down the mountain without falling more than 6 times.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can't say, I'm going to be great.
Yeah. But let's get back to your neighbor. Okay. You've set your goal. You're going to be a better person by shoveling your neighbor's walk. Now, I don't know about you, Ralph, but at my age, I have a lot of aches and pains in the back and shoulders. So if we get a 8 or 9 or 10-inch snowfall, am I going to be able to move that snow? Well, maybe not.
Maybe not. Or maybe not in any kind of reasonable time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go to work and you've got 10 inches of snow on your driveway. You can't drive through that. Can you shovel it before it's time to go to work? Maybe not. Maybe you have to say, I'm going to call snow removal service X and get them to come.
So the goal is still attainable, but it might not be you lifting and shoveling, right?
It might be getting, quote, professionals
Okay. Yep.
with their heavy equipment to do it.
Okay. So what's R?
Well, R is relevant.
R.
Relevant.
Relevant. Okay.
Yeah.
Not just a pirate talking to you.
No.
All right.
So you say to yourself, well, okay, so, I live in an apartment and they have a professional snow removal service, so I don't have to shovel anybody.
Yeah.
So you say that goal is not relevant to me.
I
But
live
what
in,
is a goal that's relevant?
Yeah, I live in Fort Lauderdale, and that goal probably isn't relevant either. So you got to
Yeah.
make your goals relevant to your environment, right?
Right.
To yourself and people around you. Okay.
So you might say, well, I want to be a better person, And in the apartment building, the couple that has the apartment next to me, they don't drive very well, because they're both in their 80s. Maybe I could say to them, if you give me a grocery list, I can go to the market
Okay.
and buy your groceries for you.
Okay. Or you could say, I'll drive you to the market.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that might be a relevant goal depending on your life situation.
Yeah. And tea?
T is basically time bound.
Okay.
So time bound sounds kind of abstract, but basically it means the goal is attainable in a set time.
Like from January to May here in Mount Pleasant, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could say to myself, one of the things I want to do is start a gentle exercise program. And I'm going to give myself from now until the end of February. And then I'm going to start a little more intensive exercise from the 1st of March to the end of April. And when May comes around, my goal is to be able to walk around the block twice
Okay.
without losing my breath.
Okay. So specific, measurable, attainable, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
And time bound because I've given myself 2 months to set
Yeah.
one pace, 2 months to set another, and then I know that I will have achieved it because I can do this.
Okay. So you heard it here first, folks. If you want to push the reset button and reset your resolutions for 2026, this is the time to do it.
Right.
Okay. How about you, Ralph? You're going to reset your resolution?
Well, actually, I already have. I have started a very gentle exercise
Okay.
program.
I'm still going to not make resolutions.
Okay. Well, that's a good way to be.
Yeah. I talked yesterday to Andrea. Now, Andrea's been on the podcast before, and she's going to be on either next week or the week after, talking about, I think, the psychology of travel.
Okay.
Now, she's the gal who lives in Rome half the year and lives here in Michigan half the year. And she goes back and forth and has to be in various different environments, from time to time, working with different people. So I'm going to talk to her about that. And she was visiting Sheila and I yesterday, and she said she did not make any New Year's resolutions, but she came up with an acronym that she said is going to help her focus her behaviors in 2026. And it is based upon the acronym TCP, which I think of as a gasoline additive, but
Okay.
she didn't think of it that way. But it means something about time, conscientiousness, and I don't know what the last P was. It wasn't perfectionism. Anyhow, we'll ask her about that. Ask her how that's working
Okay.
for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are lots of people who, through their business, have to do a fair amount of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that you say to yourself, I'm getting on a plane and I'm flying from Detroit to San Francisco. You get off in San Francisco and you say, I'm really, really stiff, sore, etc., etc. What can you do to help you overcome that?
Mm-hmm. So we can talk about that, but
Yeah.
jet lag and things like that. Mm-hmm. I was thinking just more of having to navigate, a culture or an experience in Leonardo da Vinci Airport versus JFK. Anyhow, we'll talk to her about it. She's got lots
Yeah.
of good ideas, and so
Okay, sounds good.
I want to talk about numbers, Ralph.
Okay, give me some numbers, like 1, 2, 3.
How about 6, 7?
6, 7. Okay, what is 6, 7?
We don't know, but that's the number that kids come up with, and they're driving teachers nuts in the classroom by yelling and screaming, 6-7, 6-7. My grandson, Titus, comes into the house screaming, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. And in fact, it got so ubiquitous this year that I saw 6-7 on various Christmas tree ornaments. So
Oh.
what does it mean? We don't know. We don't know.
Okay.
So,
We don't know because we're out of the loop, or
I don't. Maybe my chiropractor thinks it has some sort of a cultish symbol. So
Okay.
I don't know. I think the real answer is yes, we're out of the loop, and no, we just don't know what it is. But I have two other numbers for you, Ralph.
okay.
Let's see. 37,000.
Okay, that's a fairly significant number.
Better than 6, or different than 6-7. Any idea what 37,000 represents?
Well, only because we talked about it a little bit before,
Uh-huh.
and
The cat out of the bag.
I said at the time that it struck me as being a low number.
Yeah, it's a number apparently for fatal car accidents here in the United States in the last year. 37,000.
37,000.
And-
Okay, so I still think that number is
Low.
low. It
Okay.
strikes me as low, but that could very well be. But the interesting thing is that those 37,000 vanishingly small number have anything to do with unserviceable cars or problems with road conditions.
Okay. I'll give you another number. 650,000. 650,000.
That's a big number.
That's a very big number. Number of divorces in the United States in a given year. This is the last year they had data, a couple of years ago. And it's from 45 states and D.C., District of Columbia. So 650,000 divorces.
Okay.
And again, something you were kind of alluding to is that with accidents, it's not the nut behind the wheel, but it's more the attitude or beliefs or behavior of the person behind the wheel, right?
Yeah, people who are driving too fast, people who believe that,
Engage in road rage.
road rage, or they can swerve at any speed and get themselves by this, road hog who's insisting on driving the speed limit.
Oh, yes. Terrible person driving the speed limit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you say, well, how did this accident happen? Well, almost invariably, it's a bad decision by one or both of the drivers at the same time.
Yeah. So it's essentially driver error.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the second one, 650,000. What is the cause here? Well, the usual cause of, stated cause of divorce is that we just don't communicate anymore. We just have grown away from each other. We just don't have the same interests. And again, that's a psychological problem.
Yeah. Now, to give one example of this, I am a target shooter, so I go out to the range periodically and shoot at pieces of paper.
Okay.
Now, my wife is deadly afraid of guns and hates the whole idea of people shooting. Not people shooting into crowds of people, but people shooting even at pieces of paper. She just, that's like a snake. So we have agreed, and the concession that she makes is, okay, I understand you like to do this, so go ahead and do it. Now, there are things that she likes to do.
That bore the living daylights out of you.
Yes, but I have said you like to do these things. And so, yes, it would be good of us to do them together.
Okay. And so that's an example of you two negotiating and making decisions together and compromising. But that, I think, is not what happens in a lot of the marriages that I have seen as a professional psychologist. They do indeed move apart, move away from each other. So the bottom line here, Ralph, is that psychology takeaway could be instrumental in saving the lives of, say, about almost 690,000 people if people would get some psychological help.
Okay,
So
so
before marriage,
learn that driving a car is not a power trip, and learn that your partner, who you love, cannot meet all of your needs all of the time. But the thing to do is to say, I would like to do this, and I know you're not interested, but could I have 3 hours on Saturday?
Yeah.
And so you communicate with each other, and you say, I know you hate the idea and would never, under any circumstances, come with me to the range. But if you say, oh, yeah, you go, and in the meantime,
yeah,
next week we will do X that I like to do.
paint the house or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a story on CNN last week of a guy who killed his wife and almost killed his kid. And the story seems to be that she really didn't like the fact that he watched a lot of football, and watching Monday Night Football put him over the top with complaints and put him over the top with violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a good thing. So my suggestion would be, prior to marriage, people see a psychologist once or twice. And during a marriage, maybe you see a psychologist as often as you see your dentist, twice a year. Just check it out.
The thing is that you don't have to go and say, we need marriage counseling.
No, you don't have to be crazy to see a psychologist. Sometimes you have to be crazy not to see one.
Right.
Okay.
And so, you say, well, we need to go together, and we discuss why we're not communicating as well as we used to.
Yeah. So something that we psychologists can help people with. Now, one of the things that's up there on Learn More is an interesting thing on decision making, and essentially it says, don't make decisions when you're really tired. And a lot of us are tired a lot of the time. So get a good rest before you start making decisions.
Yeah, and
this is up there too. So go to our website, take a look. You can go inside the book and you can look at some of the chapters and some of the things that we've got. But for anybody who's going to make decisions in 2026, this is a really good resource to have.
yeah. Now, I gave Jim an example, and it's such a minor example that you would say, well, what do you mean that's a decision? But traditionally, for the last year or so, before I go to bed, I read a chapter. But before I read a chapter, I quit whatever I'm watching in the way of entertainment or politics or whatever, and I play a couple of games of solitaire. And one of the things that I have discovered is that if I get up in the morning and turn the computer on and play 2 games of solitaire, I play them much better than I do at night. And the reason is I make better decisions about which cards to move.
Okay, there you have it.
So at
whether
night,
you're
10 o'clock at night, I'm tired.
Yep. So whether you're a Supreme Court justice, as the TED Ed illustrates, or Ralph playing solitaire, you're better off if you're a little sharper than you normally are. Correct?
Right. So get plenty of sleep. It's a good cure for insomnia and other bad decision making.
Yep. Well, we're going to be looking at a number of things in 2026. And one of the things that we've talked to Phil about is the possibility of having you folks phone in and ask questions while we're on the air. We'll see how that one works out. But until next time, this is Jim
And Ralph,
saying,
keep your stick on the ice.
because we're all in this
Together.
together.